Hello, and welcome back to Antique's Diary. My name is Antique. I got some complaints last week about my decor not being very fun. Oh, we don't like the drab tan wall, as if I painted the house. And so I decided to add, if you're a visual watcher, you see it, a poster of my shirtless body. I felt like it really accentuated the place. A little bit of dry spell promo, something I haven't been promoing as much these days, but it's going to be back sooner than you think. Speaking of which, let's talk music for a little bit. This week, 2 weeks ago, I saw this tweet, right? And this tweet was talking about how in Ariana Grande's song Imperfect for You, she does, well, it said it was a Neapolitan sixth, but it was actually a tritone inversion upon further investigation. And the chorus, when she goes like, imperfect for you, and it's like not on key, like I think it, and then she's like, messed up, da 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 na 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 na, I'm not too imperfect for you, or something, is what it should be, right? But she does a tritone inversion there where basically, I don't remember, but I know that you invert the interior tones of the 5 chord, something. Anyway, in Dry Spell, there's this part, right, that's like, oh, you've been putting me through hell, you might know it, right? And notoriously, that part to me is always a little bit like flat, right? And so I was like, I wonder on the, because that's not on a key, that's not like in key of D major, which the song is in. And so I was like, I wonder if I could use a tritone inversion there, because I'm playing the 5th chord there, as I learned, or the 5 chord. I go into Hebrew, I look it up, it literally fit perfectly, like so perfectly, like beyond perfectly. Like the note that I was singing there, the flat note, is literally the root note of a tritone inversion 5 chord in the key that I'm in. Mwah. And oh my god, you guys, it sounds so good. Like the day I did it, I legitimately think I listened to it like 27 times, the song, just to hear that part, because like you have to listen to the whole song to get the build up, and it sounds so good. Oh my god, it like hits like crazy. I'm really excited for you guys to hear it. I've been trying, I have all these monsters in my basement from my old neighbor who was a monster social media ambassador, and she would leave them on the curb. But monsters make me kind of moody, but I've been meaning to drink them because I like drinking them. I think they're tasty, although they do make me moody. And so today I had the genius idea, which I do often have these genius ideas. And my one for today was, I was like, oh, why don't I water it down with some club soda? I'll almost make it into a little cocktail. And it's fantastic. It's fantastic. It dilutes the like super strong watermelon flavor, and I don't like watermelon. It allows the caffeine to enter my bloodstream at a little bit of a slower level. Something I've really been enjoying. I've also been drinking, I made a TikTok about this, because I try to drink a lot of green tea because it has very like calming effects. Like I forget what the vitamin is, but there's some vitamin in it that calms the soul, and that's something I really need. I've been a really busy gal recently, and so I've been drinking a lot of ice cream tea, and I was like, look, I want an ice cream tea for the calming effects. I need a little bit of energy. That may sound like a yerba mate, but I didn't have a yerba mate. I had a Monster, and so I made a little 50-50 cocktail of some classic Monster and some green tea, and it was terrible. Oh my god, it was so bad. I've drank 4 of them. I'm not even kidding. I've drank that thing 4 times. Horrible. I've gotten this slight, not Boston accent, but like every so often when I'm just like joking around, I will do like a horrible, because I've been watching the fucking Sturdiolo twins so much. And I've noticed other people do that too, like on TikTok and stuff. Every so often I'm like, you're not from Boston. You just watch the Sturdiolo triplets. You're not slick. It was horrible, but I keep drinking it. Which is pretty typical for me. I mean, really anything with caffeine, down the hatch with this guy. I know that's not good, but you know what? I don't smoke cigarettes. I drink maybe once every 2 weeks. I've never done drugs. You're doing coke right now. And so I think I'm allowed to drink caffeine. And all I'm saying is and I know this is the typical alcoholic argument. I know people who drink way more caffeine than me. Like, I cannot handle. I had this like ghost energy drink thing that Lana got for free from somewhere. I actually, like, gun to my head, could not tell you where she got that from, but I know it's free. And so I was like, well, if it's free, it's for me. Thank you, Grandpa, for that fantastic mantra. My grandfather used to go to job fairs just to pick up all the free shit. Like, he would get all the little pens and the little flashlights and things, like the little notebooks. He was retired. Like, he was never getting a job, but he would go to job fairs to get the free junk. And I really do align with that. If it's free, it's for me. And so I was like, I'm going to try and drink this. Worst headache of my life. Instantly. Like, literally instantly. I took one sip, nary a sip. A single carbonation bubble drifted its way down my esophagus. Instant headache. I was like, okay, this is just too much. Because it was like 300 milligrams of caffeine or some Looney Tunes shit. Craziness. Something I could not handle. I do love a Celsius. That's like the craziest thing I'll drink. I'm so crazy. But like that really is the craziest caffeinated drink I will drink. But I think I'm allowed that one vice. If I want to drink a Monster ice green tea cocktail, I think I should be allowed to do that shame and guilt free. Now, has anyone ever given me shit for this? No. So these haters are all in my head. But still, I think the haters need to be quiet. The haters, back off. The other day, I was scrolling around Google Maps, as I do. If I open Google Maps to look for something specifically, and I zoom out enough that you start to see the meniscus of the earth, it's over. I'm scrolling all the way out and I'm just zooming all around. Once I see that sphere start to form, the globe, it's over. It's over. I'm looking at random shit all over oh my God, what the fuck is this? Go on Street View and wherever. I don't know. It's fun. It's fun. I don't need to defend that. You know this is fun. I was scrolling around in Europe, as one does, and I find this little alcove in between Poland and Lithuania. And I was like, what is this? There's like a city name. Okay, I did not write the city down. It was something Russian. Okay, I did just spoil it. It was something Russian because I click on the city and it says city in Russia. And I'm like, okay, that's not where Russia is. We're in between Lithuania and Poland. And so I was like, I need to look into this. Why is this tiny little peninsula still Russia? Why haven't they eaten it like agarrio? Why is it still Russia? And there's not really a short answer to this. You kind of have to give the long answer. So you go into Hebrew, and basically Russia kept it when the Soviet Union fell because Germany didn't want to take it because they were reunifying East and West Germany, right? And people still weren't really fucking with Germany because of the Holocaust. And Germany was like, okay, historically, we kind of have ties to this little area that the Soviets have been holding on to, but it feels like a power grab. We're already like doubling the size of our country. We're just going to let Russia have it. So they just kind of let them have it. And Lithuania, I think, didn't want it. And the reason it wasn't Lithuanian in the Soviet Union was because the city that it was in it, that I can't remember the name of it, something with a K, is like this super important Russian, like it's just a major city. And so Russia was like, Lithuania is kind of a new member of the Soviet Union. We don't really trust them yet. So we're not giving them this city. So we're keeping this little alcove here Russian. And so Russia just like still owns it, which is like fine. Was like, okay, that's weird. And that's really it. I just thought that was interesting. If you go way back, like way back, I watched this YouTube video that went back to like the dinosaur age, right? And like the T-Rexes used to own the area or something, right? But it wasn't originally Russian and it wasn't originally German. It used to be like one of those other like big empires that was kind of just like a blob. Like it doesn't really line up with like current country lines or anything. But it also has like a very like a mix of people. That was the other problem too, was Russia was like, we could give this to the Lithuanians, but the people who live here are all Russian. So like, we're not going to force them to be Lithuanian. That's just silly. We need to bring back, I feel as though in the 2000s and the 2010s, now I wasn't alive, and that's why I can make that claim. And it might not be true. It may be true. It may be true. It may not be true. This is all based on movies. As should be anything you hear someone under 30 say when they're like, back in the day. Based on what? Based on what? You were 7. You were 7. We could do a whole episode on this. But I feel as though when I was younger, you referred to the person who directs you at work as your boss. That's my boss. I hate my boss. My boss is such a dick. Ugh, my boss took vacation. Oh, my boss is away this week. Whereas now I feel as though the culture has shifted and we're calling them managers. I think we need to go back to boss, right? And not in an affectionate way. I think they want us to say manager. This probably isn't like a conspiracy because manager sounds so much more gentle. You know what I mean? You're like, that's just my manager. Ugh, my manager's such a dick. But boss has this negative connotation. And we need to remember, I think, that's your boss. At the end of the day, that's not your friend. That's not your friend. That's not your friendager. And see that, here's the thing. You would say friendager because it kind of makes sense. You would never say Frost. You would never say Frost. And that's why I think we should go back to calling them your boss. I think they deserve that strong negative connotation. Now, this is not a diss on my boss. I love her to pieces. She's lovely. At the end of the day, she's still my boss. And I would tell her that. Look, I love you at arm's length. You're lit. We can kiki. You're still my boss. You still make my schedule. You still dictate how many hours I get, what I get paid, etc. And that's true for you too. It is. Regardless of whether or not you think your manager is your friend, that's your boss. It is. I've been watching Shameless. If you've spoken to me at all in the past week and a half, you absolutely know I've been watching Shameless. I've never seen it. It's been on my list. Literally, I'm not even kidding, since probably 7th or 8th grade. Like, I distinctly remember some of the girls I was friends with in middle school being like, you need to watch Shameless. You need to watch Shameless. They never really gave me a reason why, right? And so I've seen quite a few bits and pieces of Shameless because of the phenomenon of Ian and Mickey edits on TikTok and YouTube and like compilations and things. And so I've seen like, 20% of Shameless, like out of order in little 5-second clips, but I've seen a lot of it. And so I finally was like, you know what? Let's try it. I haven't tried a new TV show since Heartstopper last August. I average probably 2 shows a year. This could be my first of 2. Oh my God, it's so good. Would you believe that? I know. I feel as though now look at me. Hopefully I'm looking dead on at the camera. If you took Jeremy Allen White, who I do think is attractive, so this is not a diss to Jeremy Allen White. If you took Jeremy Allen White and made his features that are distinctly like out of the ordinary, like his eyes are kind of beady, his lips are a little funky, he's got a little bit of a weak chin. If you made him more generic looking, we look very similar. Tell me I'm wrong. Because I was watching Shameless and I'm watching his like mannerisms and things in the way that his face moves. And I'm like, I feel as though I'm looking at a slightly goofed up version of myself. Like you put me in The Sims and mess with the bars a little bit, you get Jeremy Allen White. Again, that's not a diss. I think he's very attractive. Like I'm not attracted to him, but I think he's attractive. And I think I'm attractive. It's not like I'm a more boring version of Jeremy Allen White. It's just like a variation. But I do think we have a very similar like face shape and structure. Let me know what you think. I might be going insane, but I genuinely do think I look a little bit like Jeremy Allen White. I wrote down in my notes, I don't know if this is really my calling. Couldn't tell you what that was about. That could be about a lot of different things. Oh, it was about the next note. Can I be honest about something? College has been like fine. We're going to shift gears a little bit here. College has been fine. It's been fine. It's nothing to write home about. Unless I'm missing something. I'm not disappointed. Like this isn't a bad thing. I've enjoyed being at college. Ultimately, like my favorite part of college is like I get to live on my own. I get to hang out with my friends. I get to I'm making music and art and this podcast, which is art. But college in itself, I mean, like every time I go to a fairly large school, I go to Temple University. So when I was at my old school, it was like, well, yeah, this is kind of balls, right? Temple's a big school. None of my classes have been particularly insanely engaging, which I wasn't expecting, by the way. And I've been in 55 different majors and none of them were like insanely. I've had a couple. I've had quite a few here and there that were great. The college like experience per se of like, you know, you go to a frat party, and I'm not going to sit here and hate on frat parties because everyone hates on frat parties. Like, that's just like, okay, congratulations. You hate being shot in the head. Good one. And I don't hate frat part. I gotta be honest. I find frat parties fun in a campy way. Do I think frats are generally unethical? Absolutely. But I also think, I was gonna say, I also think male friendship groups are unethical. I don't, that's a take that is not baked enough for me to say. I do think frats are generally speaking not like your stereotypical bro frat is a little bit fucked up. So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, it's because frat parties are awful. I fucking hate frats. I'm not a frat kind of guy. Because I can find some campy fun and humor in a frat party. I love talking to a man who looks at me and doesn't understand what's going on. That to me is fun. That's a good night to me. That's lit. So it's not that. I enjoy going out, you know, and doing college things and like, you know, drinking and talking to people. And I love meeting lots of new people, all that kind of stuff. None of that is stuff that I'm like, this is unique to college. I don't feel as though meeting new people is unique to college. I don't feel as though going out is unique to college. Now, you're allowed to shoot me if this sounds stupid as balls. Feel free, sound off in my comments. I have not had the most traditional college experience, so that might be affecting why I'm like, college is fine. I have an ultimate point to be making here, and you can crucify me for that point when we get there if you think I need to shut the fuck up. I've not had the most traditional college experience. And by that, I mean, I have a job, asterisk, big asterisk there. I'm not working my way through school. I'm not. I work 16 to 25 hours a week. It's a hard job, I'm not going to lie. But it's 16 to 25 hours a week. It's not that crazy. Oh, but you're also a full-time student. Yes, obviously. Right. But it's not like, I'm not breaking my back. But I do have a job, and many people, to be frank, do not have a job. Which I'm not going to sit here and shit on you. Look, here's a narrative I think we need to change. Now, I think rich people fucking suck, right? Like I mean, like 1%, whatever the fuck, right? However, and this includes them, quite frankly, if you have rich parents who are willing to fund you going out 5 times a week and fund you going to Europe and bloody fucking da, I am not going to sit here and shame you for abusing that, because I fucking would too. I got to be on. And so I don't think, I'm not going to sit here and sit around and be bitter that this guy I follow on Instagram is like riding around in the desert on a quad next to the pyramids of Egypt. And that's not shade. That quite literally is not shade if you listen to my point, because that actually happened. So if you're listening, hello. But that's not shade, because if my parents were funding me to, and I don't know if his parents were funding him to do that. If my parents were funding me doing that, I would do that too. I really would. So my point being, if you don't have a job because your parents are like, here's your allowance to go out or whatever, fine. Oh well. I have a job so that I can go out and have money to spend on my art and things like that. I'm not going to fault you if you don't, whatever. But still, I have a job, so that takes up a lot of time, right? So I can't go out 3-4 nights a week. There is an ultimate point here, so please stick with me. I have a job. I've changed majors a few times. Again, lots of people do this. Not everyone, though. It's important to know not everyone. And frankly, I've never been super passionate about my major. Again, not everyone is. But like, Lana's an acting major, and she loves it, right? I have friends who are like philosophy majors, and they're like, I love this. I absolutely love every second. I have a history major friend. She absolutely loves every single second of it. I know people who are going to med school, which to me is like lunatic, and they love it. They love every second of it, right? People who are like, oh, I can't wait to be a teacher. They love it. I'm in business school because I'm like, I'll probably get some kind of job with this. I don't love my classes, right? Even when I was in computer science, which I was like, oh, I think I actually want to be a programmer, I was never like, these are lit, which is, you know, why I switched out of it. But so I've never been super passionate about my classes. I transferred schools too. Again, lots of people do that, but not everyone does that. My point being, I have not had the most traditional college experience, so that may affect why I'm like, this is fine. This is decent. I didn't have a freshman year at a party school. Maybe that is some like lit ass experience that I missed out on and I'll just never get that back now. I kind of don't think so. And here's my ultimate point. I've seen quite a few TikToks of people who are like, go out now in college. Go out 4 nights a week while you're in college, while your body is young and you could still do it, because the best years of my life were college and I can't do any of that now, and blah, 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 blah. Now I'm like fat and old and lazy and I can't handle liquor and I wish I could go out 4 nights a week. Blah, 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 blah. Why do we not treat these people as people who wear their high school Letterman jackets when they're 30? Because I gotta be honest, I'm looking at these two people and I'm seeing this is the same person. There's just no way that your college experience was that fun, that you're still thinking about it at 30. I've had some great experiences in college. I think college has been super fun. But I love just like wandering around the city. I like cooking. I like making music. I like meeting new people. I like going to bars. These are all things that I can do after college or forever. And when I'm not in college, I'll have more money to do these things. Obviously, I'll have less time because I'll have a full-time job, but I'll be able to do those things still. Like, nothing is taking that away from me. And so I don't understand. What about, and again, I don't understand it because I'm not old enough yet. Maybe I'm missing something. It seems like some of you guys just peaked in college. And maybe that's okay and normal, and that's a thing that just happens to people, and that's fine. Everyone's got to peak at some point in their life. You know what I mean? I don't know. I see myself at 40 still being like, yeah, let's make some music. Yeah, let's go wander. Let's go get a latte. Like, I just don't. Let's go out. I mean, like, not every night, probably. I'm sure I'm not going to enjoy going to, like, a college bar when I'm 40. I would hope not, because, like, ew. So, yeah, anyone out there who's maybe, like, not 30, because I doubt any old farts are listening to this. But if you're, like, 24, 25, couple years out, and you're like, oh, that was the best 4 years of my life, feel free to tell me I'm wrong. Absolutely feel free to tell me I'm wrong. That's my assessment of the situation. What I want to know, did epilepsy exist before the screen? I was watching Heartstopper, as I do. You know, that's like me being like, oh, I was breathing in and out and drinking water. I was watching Heartstopper, and at the one point it was like, warning, contained strobe that may affect some viewers or something. There's like a strobe light in the party scene. Now, how did that exist before screens? When you were walking through the forest and there was sun flickering through the leaves and it was flashing off your face as you ran from a bear that was trying to eat you, did that cause a seizure? Because if it didn't, I don't know what else could have caused epilepsy before screens. Now, I didn't look this up. The answer might just straight up be, yeah, there was no epilepsy before strobe lights existed. But I can't think of anything else in nature that naturally, like, flashes. Like, do you get epilepsy looking at a lightning bug? I doubt it. It's not like the sun flashes. Maybe if there were a lot of, like, fast-moving, teeny tiny, thin clouds that were floating past, but I don't think that's ever happened. Maybe if there were a bunch of solar eclipses sequentially in a row. Speaking of which, by the way, I did not feel that earthquake at all. Literally not at all. I was at work, sitting, eating my lunch. I'm on Twitter, and I see Jimmy. Hello, Jimmy. Jimmy Outsold on Twitter, tweeting about some earthquake. And the dude lies all the time. He lies all the time. So I was like, oh, he's just lying about some earthquake, whatever. Because I didn't feel anything. And I know we live in the same city. So I was like, I didn't feel an earthquake. Whatever. Just Jimmy being stupid. I keep scrolling. Earthquake, earthquake, earthquake. I was like, oh my God. Earthquake? I didn't feel anything. Not at all. I didn't feel the ground move. I didn't feel my chair shake. Some of my coworkers, though, were like, yeah, I did kind of feel, I swear I felt my leg move a little bit. Now, I'm not saying they were lying. I'm just saying I didn't feel a thing. Not nary a rumble or a mumble or a hum, which was kind of disappointing. I won't lie. Hopefully after I move to California, there will be a good earthquake or two. I do want to say, I want to talk a little bit more about Shameless from the perspective of how queer characters were written and treated in the early 2010s. I'm going to save that because I want to keep watching and have a more nuanced, constructed take. And also, we're already at 30 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for tuning into Antique's Diary. I will be posting these every week now. I'm serious. And music is coming very soon. I finished recording my EP this week. I know. That was supposed to be me bowing, and it kind of just looked like a weird dab. I know they said it would never be done. They said, oh, he'll never. Oh, it was EP. His EP is coming out. I actually finished recording it. So it's coming out very soon. I'm just waiting on We'll have to fix this one part. So it's not actually recorded. I know. It's recorded as in I need to record like one little bit. So, and then I need to export, and then we're just waiting on my audio engineer. So obviously it's not coming out on the 12th. I don't know if I ever even officially publicly announced that was supposed to be the date, but not coming out on the 12th. I don't know when it's going to come out. I'm not going to say a date, but soon, like sooner than you think, like soon. Like this is going to be the summer of Antique. All right. Thank you so much for listening. Tune in every Tuesday for now. But like for real, every Tuesday. I'm going to be posting these and stuff. Thank you so much for listening and watching. If you have any feedback, etc., let me know, because I'm still fucking around with this whole video thing. So, goodbye.